G'day everyone. So I thought I'd take a really quick moment to share a bit of a story about my experience yesterday taking Cristina on the track. And I thought this is relevant to a lot of members who have never gone out for a track day before, because as it turns out, that's the situation I found myself in yesterday. So for those of you that know me, I have quite a powerful car. I spend a lot of money looking after it. I love the car. I've put time, energy, effort and dollars into building a very nice street car. And I guess over the years, or the past few months in particular, a lot of people have been asking me, do I track the car? And my answer's always been no. It's been a street car. It was designed and built as a street car with a whole bunch of race parts. And I'm sure most of you in the club are similar to me in that way. So what I'd say firstly is I booked the track day sort of on a whim. One of the other members was planning on doing a track day, and they invited me along, and I thought, why not? Let's give it a go. So I bought the tickets for the track day on a whim at the last minute, and I didn't really put much thought into it. As the track day approached, I got more and more nervous. And like I said, I've got a nice car, and I've heard so many horror stories about people going on the track and breaking the car, crashing into a wall, doing all these sorts of awful things to their cars. So as you can imagine, having never taken the car on the track before and having never really been on a track or a proper track before, I was extremely nervous about the day, and it was to the point where when we were sitting in the pits, I had butterflies in my stomach, and I was really, really apprehensive about the day. We went out for a small cruise around the track, and the instructor that was there and the marshals, they actually talked us through some of the corners, how they operate, what not to do, what to do, how fast you should enter, where the apex is, and those sorts of things. Just a bit of a diagnostic on the course, which did put some of my nerves to rest. And then we went out. And as you can imagine, I said to everybody flat out, look, I'm a total noob, never done this before, and I am definitely not going to be pushing the car. I am going to drive as slow as I feel comfortable. And that was the plan. I didn't want to crash the car, and I was super scared about doing that. So the first lap I sort of pushed it a little bit, but I really didn't go very fast, and I let heaps of people pass me by. And what I found as that sort of first session went on is, every lap I'd push it a little bit more and a little bit faster, and I'd go a little bit quicker around each of the corners. And what I found is the car is able to do this. And this is probably what a lot of people don't realise, is the car is able to do this, and the car will tell you if it's got a problem. So if it starts to overheat, you slow down. I will say, in my experience, nothing like that happened at all. And you can feel how good you are on the track, and you can respond to how the track is treating you and how the car is going. And the reality is, you'll be surprised what the weakest link is in the equation. And I can tell you for an absolute fact and certainty that I was the weak link. The car definitely was not. I was 10 times worse than what the car was. And what I found as the session pressed on is I could push it a little harder and a little harder and a little harder each lap until I got a bit more comfortable and a bit more confidence. And I started to learn how the car reacted and responded to the track. So as you can imagine, I got better and better. And I'll say by the second session, after we had our little break, a little cool down, had a bit of a chat and a catch up, and went out for the second session, my confidence had increased dramatically. And that continued through the day. So what happened was, in the beginning, packing darkies, totally didn't want to do it, was really scared about hurting the car. As the day pressed on, I learned more and more that their car will handle it. and it's all about how hard you push the car, and especially with all-wheel drives, which is sort of what we do, you'd be absolutely astonished how much it takes on a dry track to get that car unstuck. And I can say without a shadow of any doubt that by the end of the day, I was pushing that car as hard as I possibly could with my shitty level of experience, and the car didn't falter. As a matter of fact, it got to the point where the tyres themselves got so hot that they were losing grip. I was still able to get around the corners and I was still able to turn. And what I found is that the car lets you know when it's running out of grip. It starts to squeal and squeak and squirrel under its own weight. When you're on the brakes, you can see yourself sort of having to brake a little bit early. This sort of suddenly the car goes into the wall type experience doesn't really happen in reality, because you're not suddenly coming out of the blocks at 110% and going straight into the corner at that sort of speed. You tend to, or what I did anyway, was I gradually built into it. And I got to say that by the end of the day, I was a total convert. I had so much fun. It was probably one of the best experiences I've had in a very long time. It was great to be able to feel how the car responds, to learn the tolerances of the car, and I got it all out of my system. We were flying down the straights, we were hitting corners as hard as we possibly could, getting on the brakes as late as we possibly could, and by the end of the day, we had so much fun. What I'd say is, a track like Eastern Creek, which is where I was racing, was unbelievably expensive. These sorts of tracks cost a fortune to run on because they're world class. But this brings up the question about the track day that we've got coming up. Now, unfortunately, as it turns out, there appears, despite the fact that a lot of members say they wanted to go, it appears that not many members are actually signing on to go. And I guess that brought the question up to me is, are people suffering from the same sort of nerves that I had about the day? And if that's the case, what I can say is you don't need to worry about that. We're all friends. We're not going out there to race each other. We're going out there to learn our cars and to learn the tolerance levels of our cars and have a bit of fun. You don't have to push it 10 tenths. You don't even have to push it half of that. The idea is go as fast as you feel comfortable going and enjoy the day. What I will say is the track day that we're putting on is, because we haven't had that many people sign on, it's about this close to being cancelled, which is a shame because after the first track day that I went to, I'm really, really looking forward to this one. And I think it's for those of you that can go, for those of you that can afford to do it, what I'd suggest is get yourself a ticket and have some fun. It is cheap. We are doing to facilitate this day is book the track, pass on the cost to the members. So $230 for 7-8 hours of racing. You don't have to go into every session. You can sit out some of them, go as many times or as few times as you like. The idea is it's just supposed to be a fun day out. Take your time. And if I could urge you all to jump online and grab yourself a ticket, please do it, because I would hate for the people that have already bought tickets to cancel on them. It's not about the money. Of course, we'd refund the money, but I'd hate to cancel on them because they're obviously really looking forward to it. For those of you that have been asking about doing a track day for a while, well, here it is. Here's your opportunity. And the other thing is there's, if I can say with confidence that there's now, in my humble opinion, very little to worry about. It is simply a fun day out learning your car. It's how many times you're driving around a corner too quick and you're worried about the cops or you're on the freeway. This doesn't happen on a track day. You can go as fast and as slow as you like, really enjoy it. And what I'd say is it's a great opportunity. I really don't want to cancel the day. It'd be an absolute shame if we had to do that. So if I can urge you to sign on and buy a ticket, come down for the day, have a bit of fun. You know, spectators are obviously welcome. We've got a spectator pass, which will give you access to the cars. So as a spectator, you can come along and jump on board with somebody, have a bit of fun. There is a $1,000 prize for one of the lucky drivers, a voucher at Gosford City Smash, and they'll do whatever body mods you want to your car for up to $1,000. So, you know, the day might pay for itself just by showing up. And look, you can't beat the price. And like I said, you know, for those of you that have never done a track day, I can tell you, you will walk away from that day a total convert. You will have the best time you've ever had. I know it's intimidating. I know it can be nerve-wracking thinking about it, and you can worry about ruining your car, but that's not why we're there, right? We're not race drivers. We're not there to compete. We're not there to push each other to the point where we're going to crash the cars. We're there to have a bit of fun and see what we can do, learn our cars, learn how to drive on track, and just hang out with mates. So look, that's the reason for the video. I wanted to sort of get that out there. I really hope that we get some more sign-ups quickly, because if we don't in the next 1.5, 2 weeks, if we don't get the numbers, unfortunately we're going to have to cancel the day. And if I'm honest with you, it's probably going to be the last track day we organise for a while, because if we're not getting the numbers, then we're not getting the numbers. You know, clearly there's no interest in it. So please grab a ticket if you want to come along. You know, what I'll say is, again, it'll be, I can almost guarantee, one of the best days you've ever had. All right, that's it for today. I hope I've encouraged some of you to grab a ticket and come along and have some fun. And, you know, hopefully I'll see you there on the day. Check you later.